Welcome to the Corona Post Show opening day competition at the Ballito Pro presented by O'Neill 2024. And some big talking points from a crucial day of competition. Obviously, at this day, it's all about staying alive. Instant elimination for surfers that can't make it through, and delight for surfers that get their campaign on a roll here in South Africa. And joining myself, Paul Evans, to talk you through the day in the Corona Post Show. Greg MC, Gig Cilliers. How we doing, chaps?
Good.
Feeling good?
Great.
Fresh?
Fresh. Long day.
Sprightly. Gigs, what did you make of the day, mate? Give the day a score out of 10.
Oh, big day of 4.83. No, I'm joking. No, listen, a big day. We had to get going on it. It's a big field here at the third Challenger Series stop. And, you know, we had that day off yesterday. The Surfline Forecast, pinpoint accurate. We got plenty of energy. And I remember Greg and I were calling heats this afternoon going, these guys are getting rattled by some push-unders on virtually no swell on the forecast. So, yeah, good energy in the lineup. Good performances on both men's and women's opening rounds.
Yeah, very different sort of day as well. Thinking about the ocean, the last couple of days, it's been sort of similar to what we're looking at in the morning throughout the whole of the rest of the day with some glassy conditions. Today we started off, it was pretty small and hard to find waves, and then it really ramped up throughout the day. More of that in a sec. Let's get some fresh insights from the lineup. Winner of the last heat, the young Australian who surfed brilliantly out there. Winter is standing by for a chat.
Tell us, how did you adapt from 10-foot perfect barrels at Nias in Indo to onshore big ramps here in Ballito?
Oh, it was tricky. I had to come here about a week early, battled the jet lag as well. But, you know, take it as it comes. I got some amazing waves over at Nias, some of the waves of my life. And, yeah, just so stoked to get the heat win here.
What kind of board were you riding in the conditions this afternoon? The swell did jack up right through the day. Did it change your board choice? And tell us what you were riding in that heat that got you the first round win.
Yeah, actually, I did the QS leading up to this, and I was on a small driver 3.0. And it actually picked up a lot today, so I had to switch to a 5.11.5, which is a bit bigger. And probably should have been on a bigger board. It's got so much push out there, and hopefully it gets a little bigger and we can do some big turns.
And then lastly, do you want to give a shout out to Rob Bain and the crew at Queenscliff Board Riders back home?
Yeah, we'd love to give a shout out to everyone at home. Bainey, Mick Kane, my coach and manager, and then all the QBC boys and all my friends tuning in. Thanks, guys.
We look forward to seeing you at the rest of the event, and well done on your round one win. All the best for the rest of the event.
Cheers. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Wow. Kaney and Bainey, strong squad. He's got a good crew.
Love Absolutely.
We were really impressed by the polish he was able to show in his surfing as well. You think about younger surfers that you don't know as much about. Looking so smooth out there, Greg.
Oh, the polished surfing, I just love it. I'm a fan, complete fan. Just that bottom turn, top turn combo is just so smooth. It's almost like it reminds me a little bit of Frankie Alba also, what he used to do with that free surfing, how quickly he would get vertical. But just there's something in it, that style, it's been nurtured. It's very good. Winter Vincent's definitely going to keep an eye on him.
I like it. All right, let's remind ourselves some of our storylines from today. There were some big talking points. Talking about that young talent, that emerging next generation out of Europe as well. And it was the young surfer from the Basque Country, Kai Odriozola, in a tough heat. Another former winner out in the water from this tour in the form of Hiroto Ohara. How about this for flaring up, stomping those rotations, just taking it all in its stride, literally, Gigs.
Yeah, Paul, Greg and I were calling this heat, and it was exactly that theme on the Challenger Series, young talent taking on seasoned campaigners. And Greg, Hiroto Ohara did strong work on the rail, but the air game certainly from Odriozola really just put it in. Huckabee also was part of the discussion for a while there.
Huckabee was surfing well. He had the right approach, going for those big airs, but Kai Odriozola was just calm and collective and just kept hammering away with great scores. And Ohara also just smashes every section that comes his way, holds back on absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the afternoon saw that tide push, and definitely a strong discussion between two power combo turns and then surfers going to the air. We saw that theme played out quite a few times this afternoon. But you know what? Fair playing field, great day of entertainment. And I don't think there was a controversial result on either the men's or the women's opening rounds. I think everything was a fair call.
Plenty of time left for that, mate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, it's still early,
we've
right?
got a big week ahead of us. We've been having a discussion all day really about the overlap between Challenger Series and CT. A couple of surfers who recently managed to get wildcards in the CT over in Brazil. In our women's division, the round of 48 that we ran this morning, the likes of Sophia, Medina, and Tina Hinkle. And they put on a bit of a show out here, maybe just bringing a little bit of extra quality from surfing at the very highest level. This was the early work from Tina.
Yeah, just strong surfing. And I mean, it was trickier this morning. It was much quicker, shorter waves. And you just had to get those two-turn compos. You saw Sophia, she had her dad on the beach, Charlie, and they were very structured. You could see there was a plan, and she stuck to it. And that was a great turn early on.
Yeah, Greg, we spoke about the mornings, slightly thinner energy in the lineup, but definitely comparable to the beach breaks. We brought a little bit of Saquarema over to the opening round heats this morning.
All right, well, another great heat from our surfers from Brazil out there representing, of course, just 5 spots available from the Challenger Series. So an important result here in Ballito, absolutely crucial and solidified your top 5 position. Of course, we're a long way away from that. Let's get into top 5 moments of the day. And we've picked through and taken some of the highlights. And in terms of your result in the heat, sometimes it comes down to the time that you get your score rather than just what the overall number is. And we love a buzzer beater. It feels like Ballito sort of prime for that as well, particularly today with that short paddle out. And our 5th moment was the surfer out of the Basque Country, the goofy Ariane Ochoa. She needed a number. She got one right here.
Well, Paul, 3rd place with literally a minute to go. She pulled this corner out. She hammered it twice. And she's got a strong support squad on the beach as well. Of course, the African-based property development company Grit getting behind her along with Seth Hulley from Oakley. And, well, that South African squad, we're just pretty stoked on that. But some good surfing from Mafilda Lopez as well, Greg.
Yeah, she put on a great display. We did talk about her possible ankle injury, and she got this overhead wave with one massive turn. And this went into the 7s, and at this stage there weren't many waves of this size, and she picked that one and just focused on one solid major hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, we couldn't ignore Jordy Lawler in the discussion, coming off a heated win at Narrabeen, and he looked sharp in the lineup this morning in Ballito.
Yep, he's definitely carrying that confidence, very sharp. And a couple good results through this event. If he can just knuckle down and get towards the back end, he's going to be very close to qualifying after the win in Sydney.
Well, this morning it was also Sierra Kerr that would just change up the formula a little bit. We hadn't seen many airs, and she salvaged the seat, just went to the air, just kind of put a pair of 5s and around that zone together, and she did really well. And, well, of course, Josh Kerr was pretty happy. They'll go back and regroup and get ready for another day of competition.
Jarvis, Earle, just super vertical backhand. Always great to watch the goofies go at it. And there's some newness right there. No question at all about what time it was. 12 o'clock.
That was just incredible. It's just such great vertical surfing. And, I mean, you can't be more committed on turns than what Jarvis was on those couple of turns.
Today, pretty good. We had waves. Can't complain too much about that. But we feel it might get better. Should we dive into the Surfline Forecast? Let's have a look at it and see what we've got coming up in store. Of course, Carlos Munoz, he doesn't like to check the forecast too much. We like to geek out on it a little bit more. And we've been waiting for this swell. We've been thinking it's going to fill in gigs. And we'll check out the Surfline Forecast and see where exactly this swell's coming from and how optimistic are we. This is prime time in South Africa about getting a little bit bigger, more cleaner quality lines in here to Ballito.
Well, based on Surfline's forecast for today, they were absolutely spot on. Lift and energy. You see the roaring 40s down there, repeated south swells. We've got some big southwest busters coming up the east coast of South Africa later in the waiting period. We are expecting a strong lift in swell towards finals day, and on the weekend perhaps we should see some solid overhead waves. Greg, we're getting excited about this.
Yeah, there's a few things that a few boxes that I can tick. There is westerly, there's a lot of storms, there's a lot of swell out there. What I like is that we're going to be going into those low tide mornings, and that will coincide with the odd little northwesterly that could just open up a few options. It just depends on how much sand we got on that bank.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. It's offshore every morning this time of year. It's kind of a formula, and we just know that katabatic drainage. You've been waiting for that.
When you talk like that,
cold air from the mountains behind us.
Yeah,
we've got a formula.
I reckon the conditions are taken care of. The ocean's going to deliver for us. What about our surfers? What are we expecting in terms of performances? Today we had some airs, almost kind of a tube as well go down. But what are we expecting from our surfers, and who, in terms of personnel, are we expecting to put their hand up and make a statement, get themselves, maybe people already in that contention, maybe people haven't had a result yet. Who do we fancy here in Ballito?
Ooh, under the bus. Here we go. Look, I think that I'm enjoying the push from the young Australians. I mean, we saw Winter Vincent there, Jarvis, Earle looking strong. I'm looking forward to seeing George Pittar, Dylan Moffat still in the draw. So I'm looking. I'm calling an Australian win this year. Why not?
I think the winner is going to be style. When I say that, it's amazing how the surfers have surfed tough waves today. They've done airs, but cleanly and stylishly. It seems like a bit of styles come back into the sport. Some really good-looking styles in the surfing today.
Well, we're expecting some big performances. Of course, we've got loads more days of competition yet to run before we're crowning champions. We've got another 6 days or so of contest. What we haven't got is any more time in today. It's been a good day. Maybe a little bit of refreshment, boys. I think we've all earned ourselves a Corona Cero. So it's time to say cheers to the boys. Thanks for a great day on the tools. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. call for a 7:30 start. We're going to send you out some highlights right now. Thanks for tuning in. WorldSurfLeague.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.